nostalgic look at Soapbox Derby in Columbus, a ride through time. Long before smartphones and video games, before kids spent their summers indoors, there was the magic of wheels on pavement, the roar of laughter, the scent of warm asphalt, and the thrill of a homemade car barreling down a hill. In Columbus, Georgia, the spirit of the Soapbox Derby ran deep, echoing back to the days of the Our Gang kids, when mischief and imagination ruled the neighborhood streets. Back then, every backyard was a workshop, every alley a racetrack. Boys and a few daring girls would rummage through sheds and junkyards for wood, baby buggy wheels, and whatever they could get their hands on. These weren't just cars, these were dreams, with steering ropes and bent nails stitched together with the pride of youthful ambition. Just like Spanky, Alfalfa, and Buckwheat in Our Gang, the kids of Columbus formed ragtag teams with clever names, hand-painted signs, and more heart than horsepower. On warm Saturday mornings, families would gather at the top of one of Columbus's many rolling hills. Boxwood Boulevard, maybe, or a tucked-away lane in Lake Bottom Park. Dads and uncles tightened bolts and whispered advice. Moms brought folding chairs and brown bags of lemonade. The air buzzed with excitement as kids lined up at the top of the hill, helmets askew, knees bouncing with nerves. Then whoosh! Off they'd go. Wooden wheels wobbled, some cars veered off course and tipped into ditches, while others sailed straight and true, guided by nothing more than a soapbox frame and a fearless heart. Spectators cheered, shouted encouragement, and winced at every bump and crash. It wasn't just about winning, it was about building something with your hands, testing your grit, and flying if only for a few glorious seconds. As Columbus grew and the decades rolled on, the tradition evolved. Races became more official, with sanctioned events and polished cars. But at the heart of it all, the spirit remained unchanged. A celebration of childhood, craftsmanship, and community. Today, when older folks in Columbus talk about the good old days, their eyes light up with memories of skinned knees, crooked wheels, and the sweet taste of freedom on a downhill slope. The Soapbox Derby may have started as a neighborhood pastime, but it became a rite of passage, a dusty badge of honor earned on the streets of Columbus, back when all you needed to race was a wooden crate, 4 wheels, and a dream. And maybe, just maybe, if you stand on the right hill at the right time of day, you can still hear the echo of laughter and the creak of wheels as a new generation of Our Gang kids prepares to take the ride of their young lives. The Soapbox Derby has a long and storied history in Columbus, Georgia, with the Columbus Ledger-Inquirer playing a significant role in its local sponsorship over the years. While the exact date the Columbus Ledger-Inquirer officially began sponsoring the event isn't readily available, the newspaper has been deeply involved for decades. We know that Soapbox Derby races were taking place in Columbus as early as 1934. The same year the national event was founded. The Ledger-Inquirer's involvement is evident from historical records, such as an article from 1937 titled "Soapbox Race Attracts Throng to Columbus Ledger-Inquirer." Throughout the mid-20th century, the Columbus races were a prominent community event. Press photos from 1954 and 1955 capture the excitement in the crowds that gathered for the Soapbox Derby in Columbus. Crucially, the winners of these local races earned the coveted right to advance to the national competition in Akron, Ohio. This tradition has been a cornerstone of the Soapbox Derby, with local champions from Columbus traveling to Derby Downs to compete against winners from across the United States and in some years even internationally. For example, a 1952 newsreel shows Joe Lunn of Columbus, Georgia, winning the final of the Junior Speed Classic in the Soapbox Derby in Akron, Ohio, demonstrating the direct path from local victory to national triumph.
It's Derby Day in Akron, Ohio, the All-American Soapbox Derby. Hometown winners from far and wide are here seeking the top prize, a 4-year college scholarship. Germany is represented in this 15th of the Small Fry Racing Classics. George Rippard of Ontario is raring to go. Jimmy Stewart bids Dave Grubbs good luck as the 11 to 16-year-old youngsters get away in the colorful event. The Derby is concerned not only with the steering of cars, but with the steering of boys, teaching them to work with their minds and their hands to be better men of tomorrow. A huge crowd follows the heats of homemade racers down 1,000-foot concrete runway. Old man Gravity is the final arbiter, but fancy timing devices keep close tabs on the results as the Derby winds up to its thrilling climax. And here it is, the final heat, and a close one right down to the finish line. The winner over Jim Thomas of Pennsylvania and Vic Shepard of Michigan is Joe Lunn of Columbus, Georgia, king of the Soapboxers.
In recent years, the local Soapbox Derby has evolved and is now organized by Let's Grow Steamix as the River City Soapbox Derby. This organization has a licensed partnership with the International Soapbox Derby, continuing the tradition of youth racing while integrating STEM education. The Columbus Ledger-Inquirer continues to cover the event, publishing photo galleries and articles about the races and local champions who go on to compete in Akron. The Soapbox Derby in Columbus, supported by community efforts and the long-standing media presence of the Columbus Ledger-Inquirer, has consistently provided a platform for young people to engage in hands-on learning, teamwork, and healthy competition, culminating in the exciting annual local race and the thrilling opportunity for local winners to test their skills against the best in the nation at Derby Downs in Akron, Ohio.